You know, I've been around Washington for a very long time. My first job was in this very building in 1972 when I worked for the House Judiciary Committee. As a kind of sign of the bipartisanship that we've seen today, I'm sort of a bipartisan person myself. I began my work at Judiciary Committee and the Civil and Constitutional Rights Subcommittee, working for the Democratic majority at the time. And in fact, this was one of the hearing rooms that we used at that time. But one of the things that I have noticed in Washington, particularly of late, is that nature of bipartisanship, of working together in the best interests of our country, has frayed. It's broken apart. People don't talk to each other anymore. There isn't an agreement to come together to work to solve problems. Well, today we saw people from both sides of the aisle. We saw the most senior member in the House of Representatives in the Foreign Relations Committee willing to come to address this group. We've seen more junior members. We've seen people who've been here a short time and people who have been here a long time. We've seen men. We've seen women. We've seen a former U.S. ambassador. We've seen a human rights activist, someone who has spent his career studying human rights around the world. And they are here because of you, because of the Iranian-American community in the United States. So you need to go out, you need to be active in your communities. You are doing that. And today, I think, has been a real testament to the kind of support that you have here in Congress, the kind of support that will, in fact, make a change. We need to recognize that Camp Liberty is indeed a refugee camp, and that it should be under the supervision of the United Nations High Commissioner on Refugees. We've got to make sure that the Iraqi government upholds its agreement. Those who are familiar with this issue know that Camp Ashraf was not just a little refugee camp in the middle of the desert. It was a vibrant city. It was a city that had a vibrant cultural life, that had modern facilities. When the residents were forced from Ashraf to Liberty, they were promised that all of the goods, the movable goods and the immovable goods, would be sold, and that the money that came from that sale would be used to support the people in Camp Liberty. That has not happened. So we need to be pushing for that. But most of all, we need to be looking forward to a time when the mullahs no longer govern Iran. We need to be looking toward the people who have been promoting liberty for the Iranian people, like Madame Rajavi. The Iranian resistance has been committed to the separation of church and state. Not the imposition of a theocratic state, but allowing all denominations to be able to practice, that people have the freedom of individual conscience, that they believe in complete gender equality. It's not surprising to me that so many of the speakers today, members of the House of Representatives, were women, because if there is anything that we know about the government of Iran, it oppresses all of its people, but it oppresses its women even more vigorously than it oppresses others. And so the resistance movement believes in gender equality.